Hey everyone, so after running 16 marathons and qualifying for the Boston Marathon 11 times, I thought I would do a video about 5 things that you can do to help change your marathon training and really improve as a runner. So my first marathon, I ran 4:09 and then I got down to 3:14, and these are 5 principles that I incorporated into my own training that helped me get there. I've also helped over the years coach at least 10 women from around the 4-hour range to a 3:30 Boston qualifying time. And these are principles that we incorporated into their training, and they're very key to helping you become the best marathoner you can possibly be. And I'm sorry if you hear lightning, it's storming right now. So, number one might be pretty obvious, but I think that this is very underestimated for some people. You need to be doing long runs between 2 to 2.5 hours. And the reason that that range is so important, some people are saying this 2.5. That is where you actually have muscle fibers in your body. You have fast and slow twitch muscles. You've probably heard of this before. Obviously, the slow twitch muscles is what's going to help you in a marathon. You're going over a long distance, they need to be that slow twitch. So anyone who's born has a different combination of slow and fast twitch muscles. So someone like Meb, who is an Olympic marathoner, he probably naturally has more slow twitch muscles than, say, someone who is doing 200-meter sprints in the Olympics. That's just how their genetics are. But what you can do is you can train your body to use some of your fast twitch convertible muscles to act like slow twitch muscles. And the way that you can do that is by doing those 2 to 2.5 hour long runs and anything over that. And that's really going to help you in the marathon distance, and it's going to help your body learn what to do when you're going over those longer distances. Also, you start dipping into your glycogen storages at 90 minutes, which is extremely important because when you're in a marathon, you've heard of hitting the wall. That's what happens when your glycogen gets depleted. So it's good to know what it feels like going over that threshold, and also learning how to fuel during that, which we'll touch on later. So number 2, this is something that I see people do all the time, and this is probably the biggest game-changing thing for a lot of people. So you might be someone that's training a lot, you're doing all these workouts, you're just going after it, and it's like, why can I not run the marathon time that I think I can run? You might have a 1:45 half PR, but on marathon day, you can only get down to 4 hours, which if you plug your half marathon time into most calculators, it's going to probably tell you that if you have a 1:45 half PR, you can probably run in the 3:40s for a marathon. And I believe that you probably could if you were doing the correct training. What I see a lot of people do is they're doing the wrong type of workouts. So you're going out there and you're doing 800s and 400s on the track when you're training for a marathon. And I've heard the thing like, oh, always do speed work. No, we already know you're fast, right? You're training for a marathon and you have a half PR of 1:45. We already know that you have the speed to run in the 3:40s. So what type of workout should we be doing? We should be doing workouts that help you carry the pace for longer. You have speed. The time when speed workouts become important during marathon training is when someone is already working very, very close to their potential in the marathon distance. So I have a friend who runs a 3:06 marathon, and she runs for the half about a 1:30. So really, she is so close. I mean, she is just, her potential, she's maxing it out at the marathon distance. So what she needs to incorporate more of is speed training during her marathon training cycle. That's where it becomes more important. But for the average person who has a very big gap between their potential in the marathon distance and what they've been running, they really need to be focusing on doing not speed work, but other type of work, such as threshold runs, longer thresholds, medium long runs. These type of runs are going to help you carry the pace for longer. And that is the biggest change that I have done in a lot of people's training cycles. When I see they have the 5K, the half marathon potential to be running faster times, and it's just not adding up on race day, it lies in the detail, and you need to be doing a little bit more of the specific marathon training work and a lot less of the speed work, because you're focusing on the wrong area. You're already fast. You need to focus on what you're maybe not so good at, which is carrying the pace for longer. So I incorporate lots of 9 to about 12 mile medium long runs during the week where we're working on threshold and just a little bit slower of a pace for a longer distance than doing 800s and 400s and stuff like that. So number 3, I see this happen with some people. Some people have a really bad problem with this, and other people are totally fine with this. So you are running a race, right? When you stop your Garmin, the clock on the race clock doesn't stop. So you can't just stop your watch and expect that on race day, oh, I'm just going to stop my watch every time and I'm going to run the super fast time. And I've seen some people where they tell me that, oh yeah, I just ran 16 miles at 8:30 pace, but I can look at their elapsed time and I see that their watch for 16 miles, 8:30 pace, you're out there for about 2 hours and maybe 20 minutes, 2 hours, 10 minutes. Their watch was stopped for 35 to 40 minutes. What were you doing? I get it if you went to the bathroom or like it was just a mishap, it was a bad run, but if every single one of your runs, I can see that you were stopped for longer than 5 minutes, what are you doing? Like, you're going to be racing a marathon and you need to train for that. You cannot just be stopped with your Garmin pause for no reason on all your runs and taking water. You need to learn how to run with water. You need to learn how to run through taking your fuel. It's very important not to play that game where you say, oh, but I really want to hit X, Y, and Z pace on my long run, so I'm just going to pause my watch 20 times and, just take water breaks. Run while you're drinking, because that's what you're going to have to do on the race. And you're setting yourself out for failure if you go back and look at your training logs and see, oh, I average 8:30 pace on all my long runs, so I'm going to go and run a 3:40 marathon. No, you actually averaged like 9:30 pace. You had your watch stop for half of it. So don't set yourself up for failure. Just know where your fitness is at. And if you need to take a break for water, let your watch run or pause it for 30 seconds. I get it. I pause my watch for 30 seconds when I'm in a long run, but at the end of my long run, if I'm out there for 2 hours, usually I'm only paused for like 60 seconds of that 2 hours. So that's acceptable, but where it's unacceptable is when you're out on a 2.5-hour long run and 45 minutes of that you had your Garmin stopped. And I'm a coach and I can see those things. So if you think you're trying to fool me, I know ways around it. So number 4, figuring out a fueling system that works for you. So everyone's fueling is different, and I get a lot of people ask me, oh, what should I take on race day? What I take on race day is not what you should take on race day, and what your friend takes on race day, maybe not what you should take on race day. It's all about figuring out what works for you, and the way that you figure that out is you practice, practice, practice. So you wake up on race day, or not on race day, you wake up every single time you're going to do a long run, and you practice your fueling, and you figure out what works for you. Trial and error. As simple as that. And on race day, you never try anything new. So if you never used Gatorade or Powerade in any of your races or long runs leading up to your marathon, you will not be taking Gatorade or Powerade on the race course. Simple as that. Just don't do anything new. Don't take a gel pack on the course if you don't use that gel. Bring your own fuel and just practice doing that, and it'll set you up for success on race day. And number 5, this one I pretty much preach about all the time, every day, is you're going too fast. So some people don't know how to slow down on their easy days. They don't really understand the whole process of running slow and what that means and how you should have fast days and easy days. So basically, what I would encourage you to do is go to Jack Daniels Run Smart Calculator, plug in your most recent race result, and see what it says for your easy pace. Just kind of let it soak in. I know it might be kind of shocking. You're going to say, oh my gosh, it's so slow. I can't run that pace. But what I would encourage you to do is not only run that pace, but also get yourself a heart rate monitor. I know a lot of you guys probably have Garmin's, but I would really encourage you to get a heart rate monitor. Keep yourself honest. You need to know what your heart rate is on these runs. So even if Jack Daniels Run Smart Calculator says your easy pace is 9-minute pace, that doesn't mean that is truly your easy pace, because what I've seen a lot of people struggle with and have problems with is when they go to start incorporating these easy long or easy paced runs, their heart rate doesn't know what to do. So it's almost like we have to retrain your body what an easy run is like, and we need to start even slower than what the calculator is saying. So the key for your easy run is having your heart rate. I've heard formulas where it's like 180 minus your age should be where your easy run heart rate is at. For me, that's about 155, and that's what I do a lot of my easy runs at. Can even be lower than that, but there are tons of calculators that help you figure out the heart rate zones for you, and it's going to vary from person to person. I can also help you figure that out, as I am a coach, and I help a lot of my athletes figure this out. So it's very important to make sure that you're not overworking yourself on the easy days, because if you're overworking yourself on the easy days and on your long run days, you're either going to burn out, you're going to get injured, or you're just not going to be able to hit your workouts, and you're not reaching your potential if you're not able to hit your workouts and you're not able to recover. So easy runs are the foundation of everything you should be doing, and they should be done at a truly, truly easy pace. And just because you're conversational does not mean that the pace is easy. I hear a lot of coaches saying, oh, it's conversational pace. That does not an indicator of being easy at all. I can have a full-blown conversation when I'm going at my threshold pace. People get used to talking when they're running, and so if you're like, well, I talk to my friends, that's not, no. You need to go off of a heart rate or just go off of the pace calculator, but I would recommend heart rate. So I hope that this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions.